Hey guys, happy Friday. Wanted to do another quick video for you. Try and keep this thing under 5 minutes if I can, with regard to how to reduce slice spin. If you guys tend to slice the ball, 70% of my students tend to move it left to right. Not such a good thing, as we know. We've been seeing the ball moving away from the target, whether it be the fairway or the green. It's going to cost you shots. So how do you reduce that? There's nothing wrong with curving the golf ball. Tour players do it all the time. If you look at the swing tracer, you'll see the ball's going left to right, right to left. The only difference is their ball is moving more towards the fairway and the green, not away from it. So the difference between those guys and the average golfer is they understand how to maneuver the golf ball to their advantage, as opposed to being obviously a disadvantage. Okay, so how are they able to do that? They understand what influences side axis spin. They know what makes the ball curve from left to right and right to left, and it's not what you may think. Most golfers tend to think if you slice the ball, the reason for that is you're coming over the top of it. I'm here to tell you that is definitely not the reason. In fact, if you've tried to swing from inside out and you're a slicer, you probably hit it a lot worse. Okay, so the way you're going to actually change that slice into a fade is very simple. You're going to pay a lot more attention to your club face. This is going to be the key, guys. So the reason, again, you're hitting it from left to right excessively is because your club face is open, which begs the question, how do we get the face more closed? It's really quite straightforward. You've got to take a little look at your grip. And what I've seen all the years I've been teaching is there's one thing that seems to be the core reason that people slice it. They grip it too high in their palm. Okay, so that club gets way up in the palm. You're going to see a wear mark in the grip after a couple of weeks, in the glove hand. Up in here is a hole in these grips. I've seen when people come out for lessons, they've got holes here. That's a sure indication that you grip the club in the palm, which is probably the reason that you slice the golf ball. So it's very, very important to understand the way you hold the golf club influences the position of the face as you swing through the golf ball. Tennis players and people that play racquetball understand this. Golfers don't seem to pay as much attention to it, unfortunately. There's just the discipline is not there, okay? So how do we grip the golf club effectively? Well, first thing you want to do is very simply just hold the club out in front of you and imagine grabbing a bag off a baggage carousel. If you were going to grab your bag, would you put it in the palm to grab it, or would you put it in the fingers? You know, your fingers give you a lot more leverage, okay? So we need to make sure that it's in the fingers. So I've actually marked up a glove here. We'll talk about that in a second, but if you can just grab the club like this, put it in your fingers, all right? Just put it across your fingers, hold on to it, all right? And then I'm gonna put the club out in front of me here. You see, when it's in the fingers, I can turn the golf club 180 degrees, right? So it's gonna be clockwise from the camera's side. From my side, it's anti-clockwise, but I'm flipping that club upside down. I do the same thing in the palm. I'm gonna half that. I'm gonna be able to turn it maybe 100 degrees, okay? That's all I got. So it's actually limiting my ability to rotate the golf club, okay? Which obviously is not good. That's gonna make it a lot harder for me to hit a draw or hit a straighter golf shot. So that's the first thing we need to check. The second thing is, how many knuckles are you showing on your left hand? Most golfers I see that slice are only showing one knuckle. So when they grip it, their hand is in what we call a weak position. The left hand is too far underneath the handle, and the right hand is too far on top. All right, so if we take our hands and we turn our hands clockwise, we turn them to the right, so that this V that's formed between thumb and forefinger is actually pointing at my right shoulder, and the V that's pointing on between my thumb and forefinger, my right hand, is pointing at my right shoulder. If I can do that and put the club across my fingers, can you see if I do that, it's much easier for me to rotate the face of the golf club, which is represented by this hand. It's much easier for me to come into impact and square the face. So once you start to square that club face, and it's pointing a little bit more in the direction that you're swinging, which if you're a slicer is outside in, that's not gonna change, okay? That's not gonna change. If you're outside in, you're outside in. All right, you can come over the top of it and still hit the ball relatively straight if you understand this. This is the important thing to understand. Club face first, okay? So if you can start to get that club face rotated and square relative to your path, you're going to reduce your slice spin. See, the reason the ball slices is because the club face is open relative to the path, the direction you swing. It's wide open. So we start to reduce that. We get the club face square, and you're going to start hitting much straighter golf shots. I hope that helps, okay? Certainly don't mean to confuse anyone. If anyone has any questions, Any hang-ups on this, feel free to email me. I'm only too pleased to help and contribute at this time. Just trying to get you thinking about golf, having a little fun in the backyard, whatever I can do at this point. So I hope this helps, and I really look forward to hearing from you.